So, this is the Black Terps Matter experience, like I was saying. I'm here with my friend Jamie.
Hello.
And Jamie is from the New Radical, but she's just a phenomenal woman, and I want her to introduce herself. And we just have to have her come in. So, 1 second. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, cool. So now we're back, and we can start. Where'd the piece of paper go?
Oh, it's over here.
Is this it?
Wait, you didn't mean the one you gave me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Please, introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jamie Turner. I'm a co-founder of the New Radical. That's a digital platform where we basically, it's more to educate the masses. We're just kind of like getting started, but right now we're focused on more like creating content to educate the masses from the lens of Black history, our ancestors, and our culture.
Okay, when did you start this?
December of 2021.
Oh wow, so it's high-key a baby.
Yeah, it's a baby. It's me and my friend Diamond Broughton. It's our baby. So basically, the New Radical started. I mean, kind of pretty much it was planted in our brains back in. It was a cold, windy. It wasn't even windy. It was a sunny day. It was a sunny day in Norfolk, Virginia. Even though it wasn't supposed to be sunny, it was January. And it was
Climate change.
Climate change. The 70 degrees, Norfolk, Virginia. I went to Norfolk State University, the illustrious Norfolk State University.
Period. Tell them.
Behold, the green and gold.
Okay.
And me and my friend Diamond, we were on her campus. Her campus is a digital college platform for college women to, share our writing, share our thoughts, views. Like, they have chapters literally like all over the country. So we were editors for that. So we said, we should start, something one day where we can like both put our heads together, because I have a political background and then Diamond has an English background. I was a political science major and Diamond was an English major. So it's like we kind of like putting our heads together. It'll be a dream team because she's really great with literature, like has read so many books. I've read a lot of books too. So like I have like that double background of like I did political science, but like I'm also a writer and a poet. So I would say like most of our platform is like, you can kind of see that we're both writers.
Okay, so what can we expect from the platform? Like, I know we've seen that the book list, like we saw the book list in January. Mm-hmm. That was really nice. I mean, and it makes a lot of sense. You're saying that you guys both read a lot of books. That's what people need, a lot of knowledge. But what else can we like expect to see?
I don't want to tell too much because
okay. Give us some sneak peeks.
I can't give all the tricks out of my head.
This is true.
Just know that we going up.
Period. It's going up. Not just Black History Month.
All year.
It's all year.
65, 25-8, forever.
Period. All right, cool. So you said you went to Norfolk State.
Norfolk.
The illustrious.
The illustrious Norfolk State University.
Norfolk. Okay, cool. I've been there one time. And it was, my friend was actually a part of the marching band and went to go.
Oh, for real? Who's your friend?
David, but we don't need to talk about him right now. It's okay. Yeah, you know how it goes.
I'm sorry. I know.
Yeah, this is mine.
When you said friend, I didn't know you meant little friend.
Oh, no, this is my ex-boyfriend's best friend, so I'm just like, we don't even need to mention it. But it's okay. Now it's okay. So, yeah, Norfolk, like, tell me about some student activists that I guess, or yourself and your friends that have made a change, like, because you are a...
So, when I was at Norfolk State, I was one of few that were kind of like, I would say like the whole NAACP, but like especially like that our core like executive committee. So like me, my friend Ty, she used to be our vice president when we like first rechartered because NAACP had died at Norfolk State, and then like
what year?
I'm not sure what year it died. but we brought it back to life in 2018. I would say NAACP probably died in Norfolk State probably like a couple years before I got there. It's kind of what it seemed like because like I didn't even hear about the NAACP until my friend Javion was gonna recharter, and he was just like, like, I'm gonna recharter. I'm like, I was wondering because I was like, I've known about the NAACP since I was like a kid, like because I'm also very much into history. So I was just like, I never knew that you can be a part of the NAACP, like, as a younger person. Because we also have a youth chapter, like, that was near me in my city. Like, I think the closest one was, like, Fairfax. I'm not going to Fairfax for that. Like...
How far would that be for the people that don't know?
Fairfax was, like, a county over. I grew up in Prince William. So that's like Manassas, Battle of Bull Run. Like I literally.
This is Virginia.
This is Virginia. I lived like literally.
This is not Maryland.
Not Maryland at all. I lived down the street from the Battle of Bull Run.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. So you get some people who like have not let the Confederacy go. Luckily, I grew up in a diverse part of my county, and I went to like predominantly like, as they call, like, more, like, ethnic schools. So, like, I didn't really have to experience, like, what people were experiencing in, like, all the other schools. Thank God.
Well, I'm glad that you did, too, because, some horror stories.
And that kind of motivated me.
I was going to ask, did that have, like, an impact on you, like, liking history and, like, wanting to know more about the true history?
Definitely, like, growing up around a lot of history, being close to D.C., like being like having museums at my fingertips. I kind of like always was into history. Like I still like going to history museums for fun. I mean, with COVID it's a little bit different, but I remember when I was at Norfolk State, they had the Chrysler Museum, and like it's not like a big museum, but like it was enough to where like I liked going there, and like because I would go by myself. And I would just like sit and like take in the stuff that was there.
Absolutely, no, that's not weird at all. Like I just did something similar. You know the Renwick Gallery?
Yes, I love the Renwick.
Yeah, I love the Renwick too. I just went like last week Sunday by myself. Just wanted to go.
Yeah, the Renwick's beautiful. I think I still have like pictures from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the National Sculpture Museum because they have a new exhibit too. What's your favorite like museum in DC? If you have one.
You should know what my favorite is.
Oh. National Museum of African American History and Culture. Yeah, you already know.
I've been there 3 times.
3 times? Okay, yeah, I think I've been there 3-4 times. So that's definitely a fave. And the newest one. So, right? I'm pretty sure. It's pretty new.
It is the newest one,
the museum, yeah, Smithsonian.
I was like,
the other one's probably been there first.
I was like a freshman in college, I think.
Yeah, I think I was also a freshman in college when it opened up.
Yeah,
so like it was not that long ago. Shout out to us. Okay, we're 2020 grad. 2021 grad.
2020.
Oh, okay, 2021. The 2021. Anyways, let me stop being corny. All right, so I guess just in general, are there any other student activists that like inspire you?
Not on Norfolk State. Norfolk State's campus, I don't really know what's going on there right now. But like I said, like.
But yeah, no, just in general, like I mean, like
whole NWSP and Norfolk State, like even the current chapter, like I'm so very proud of them that like when I left in good hands, and the person who was after me left it in good hands. So like. They're thriving.
Okay.
My mentor, he is the director for youth in college, and he'll let me know, be like, oh yeah, like your old chapter's doing great. I would say other student activists, Nepal Kizulu, that's my girl. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. Anaya.
Oh yeah, shout out to Anaya Vines. But I'm thinking like John Lewis, like I'm thinking like any student activist like.
Oh, okay.
I did say
that,
but that's what I mean.
Okay, I thought you meant ones I know personally.
I mean, now that I think that, who else would I say? I'd say John Lewis is probably my college student activist icon personally. I love him, John Lewis.
I'm not sure about my college student activists. I know, like, my activists, like, Asada. Like, number one.
It's her for you?
Asada. We have nothing to lose but our chance. It's our duty to fight for our freedom. It's our duty to win.
You know, that's my bio.
I know. We must love and protect. We must love and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains, and that always like sticks with me because like Asada is talking about community. She's talking about like we have to love and protect one another. That's what community is about, and like we have nothing to lose but our chains because like I mean, kind of been in like. Not the same position for a while, but it just seems like we could take a few steps forward and a few steps back, and it's like we kind of technically are not really all free yet. Mm-hmm. So like, no, we're not all free. So everyone else is free. There's still people in prison. There's still political prisoners. It's like that's why we have nothing to lose but our chains because like that's kind of all we really have is the chains. Like whether that's the chains of like enslavement, capitalism, prison. All that.
Like it's just binding us together. Like,
yeah, literally.
Got that too. So I'm so glad that you said that too, and that brings us to community. I kind of want to talk about the DC movement space since we're both activists, and we like met each other more recently since the 2020 uprisings. I'm very happy to have met you.
Very happy to have met you. In the clouds of tear gas.
Nah, seriously. So yeah, let's just talk about like what that kind of, without like traumatizing ourselves and bringing back too many.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about like the DC movement space and like kind of the circles that we met in. So I guess bringing back like the activists, like we have a lot of strong women, Black women activists in our circles. Like I remember like a very fond memory is the event that we had last year around March, for Women's History Month.
Yeah.
It was CCB neighborhood roll call. It was like a woman empowerment.
Yeah, and I got a little microphone.
Yes, and everyone got their flowers and got their awards with their names on it.
Flowers for our
and
microphones.
That was just amazing. Like I really appreciated that event because I feel like we weren't highlighted like that. Like it probably highlighted like 30 different Black women activists. And yeah, I guess like being in that space around all of those like Black women, what does that mean to you?
It feels empowering because like Black women have always led movements. Like even if like they weren't recognized, like it's always been Black women kind of pulling the strings. Black women doing mutual aid. Black women making sure people are fed, clothed, housed, like healthy. Always been that. And I will say like I'd say mostly in like the community at first I saw more men getting recognition and I would just be like, whoa, like the person who's really doing all the work was like this Black woman right here, and it was just kind of like, but it was like still, even if women weren't getting recognition, it's still nice because like at the end of the day I don't care that much about like recognition for like being a part of the movement.
I see.
Because like like it's nice to get your props, it really is, but I'm not too focused on recognition because it's just like I don't do it for the props. Like I wasn't doing that shit for my health, I wasn't doing it for fame, celebrity, none of that. There's a lot of people who do come in and they become activists.
For the clout.
Exactly. They become clout chasers and then they leave the movement high and dry and go run for office. Or they leave the movement high and dry and they get a freaking like
deal
with whoever big
like
corporations or something.
Name a court. And then
like Vogue.
It's real.
Because like I don't know.
Still happens.
I think it's wrong to like, because once you start glamorizing activism, that is how you get more people who are not here for like the movement. They're here for the moment because they want their fame. They want that spotlight. So that's why I think it's like, it's cool to see activists recognized, but like putting them in like Vogue covers and putting them on magazine covers and like giving them like these big ass deals is just kind of like, that's cool, but what's going on with the material conditions of the community that they are supposed to be helping?
Facts. And we don't know. And it's not like there's enough change happening that we can point it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, okay, so thanks for answering that question about like how being surrounded by like the Black women in the movement feel. Going off of that, I guess, who, if this isn't too hard of a question, like who in the movement do you feel like has made like a impact on you as a individual and just like person that helps shape how you view these issues that we're fighting for?
I guess I would have to say my mentor, Wisdom Cole, for the national youth and college.
Yeah, I know Wisdom. Book of Wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been working with Wisdom since probably about 2019, and it's once I really started to work with him, he really took me under his wing, and then just would teach me a lot of stuff. I learned a lot of organizing tactics from him. He gave me a lot of opportunities. I remember during the pandemic where he gave me the opportunity to be a democracy fellow and represent the state of Virginia, where I was able to get paid for it. I was able to learn how to use different political tools. I already knew how to use Band, but he introduced me the texting apps, SMS messaging, data, creating lists.
It's real organizing skills. He showed you real organizing skills, exactly. And he also supported you in your endeavors.
Exactly, he still supports me. He's always checking in on me at least once in a while. How's everything going? I remember when I was on the job search, and he was just do you need anything? Was offering me to go to the NAACP, but I wasn't.
As far as the position or the conference?
Position.
Okay, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, because I have certain politics, and I got mad love for all the historical organizations, but it's their politics doesn't completely match up with mine.
Yep, and we're going to the moon in the future.
To the moon.
Yeah, things are changing. But
yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Cool. Thanks for breaking that down. Shout out to Wisdom. You're appreciated.
Shout out to Wisdom. Shout out to NAACP. I still always love the NAACP, even though sometimes, I'll see an article and they embarrass me. But I want to just literally make sure that y'all make a distinction. The youth in college is not the same as the national award.
And that's a fact.
At all.
Yeah. And that's a fact.
They ain't got nothing to do with Aquafina getting the Image Award.
Yeah, NAACP Image Award. Dang, should we talk? Never mind. Should we take some time to talk about that? Nah. It's almost a controversial. Yeah. It's people that are against her so bad. But yeah, so I have another question for you. So coming from Norfolk State,
mm-hmm.
into the DC movement space with so many of our amazing activist friends Ariana, Red, Joella, all the people from Freedom Fighters and just all of the different grassroots organizations.
Right.
How did being a college student activist and learning how to speak up in college, how do you feel that prepared you for the current DC movement space that we're in?
I think it prepared me a lot because I know some people came in had never organized before, but I was able to come in and bring my skill because I have organizing training. I went to organizing fellowship where I got tactical training. I got basically I learned definitely organizing tactics, literature, basically the whole nine. So then I was able to bring that and apply that to when I first joined Freedom Fighters. Freedom Fighters was my first DC org, and I will always have love for the Freedom Fighters. I loved being a part of it. I still love what they're doing.
Yeah, people might not know what Freedom Fighters are, so.
Okay, so Freedom Fighters DC, they started around literally during the uprisings when everyone
May
was
2020.
When everyone was out in the streets and everyone was out in the streets of DC, Freedom Fighters was born. And then I remember I joined the org like literally pretty much like after like my first protest in DC. I think it was probably like that same week or the week after. And at first, I was more on like the social media side. I mean, that was my role mostly. Like I was on the social media team because, as you know, your girl's a little skilled in social media.
Yeah, skills.
So like, so yeah, that was my role. And then of course, like my organizing tactics, and then I was always on the front lines, you know, with my megaphone until my megaphone broke. I remember we had this one protest. I can't remember what day it was, but it was raining really, really, really hard, and like my megaphone got ruined, like badly.
Like from the rain,
like yeah, like you turn it on and it would make this scratching noise.
Yeah, I hear. I know exactly. Like I can literally imagine that sound in my head right now.
And then
like,
we'd be like, "Rain can't stop the revolution." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's gonna stop my
megaphone." Nah, for real. That's actually accurate. Like we've actually had our megaphones broken by the police outside of 5D. That's how 2 of our, maybe 3 of them broke.
Yeah, things were rough outside 5D. I remember when we used to go to 5D.
Yeah, pretty aggressive.
Yeah, they get real. Like, I think 5D was definitely, like, crazy. And I think what was crazy were definitely...
Oh, 5D, the police precinct.
Yeah.
That we protested outside of.
Yeah. And then I remember, like I said, one of the first few nights of, like, basically the DC uprisings. They cleared the street out with tear gas. Like, that was, like, my first time experiencing it. And it's, like, all I remember is that, like, they just let it off. And next thing I know, I can't see. Like, I couldn't see. I couldn't breathe. And, like, I was trying to, like, escape. And, like, I could have tripped and fell or something. I could have really injured myself. Because, like, I really couldn't see. And then, like, people had, like, milk out, and then, like, I could at least, like, open my eyes, maybe, like, literally probably like this much. Like, like, this much, to where I could see someone who had milk, and I was like, please, I need milk. Like, yeah. I need that shit badly. And then, like, that was the only thing that relieved it. Like, water could not relieve that or anything. Like, it was milk.
So, as a protester, I feel like sometimes, not make a differentiation, but basically not make a differentiation, but put it in addition, like I'm an activist and a protester, like a frontline protester, because of the issues that we face, like in regards to police brutality, in regards to surveillance, in regards to literally just our human rights being played with.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, I don't want to ask how that's impacted you, but I do want to ask, like, it being 2022, you know, some people say that they look back at those times that they were in the streets and they feel like it wasn't worth it, or it wasn't, it didn't make enough change, I guess, like, and so I kind of just want to know, like, what you think about that and how you think this plays in, like, the future.
So, I'm definitely all for, like, direct action. Don't get me wrong. And I do think protests, like, at the time, those are very important because, like, you know, like, I will say the protests did help a lot with when George Floyd was murdered, literally slaughtered by the police. The uprisings did make a lot of noise because every city was, like, rioting. Like, when it's, like, every city, that's different. Like, they haven't seen that since when... Was it Rodney King? Was, like, everyone was...
I mean, Ferguson...
Because Ferguson, it wasn't really every city. No, the last time that every city had an uprising, it was definitely, like, Rodney King. So, like, it's been that long. I wasn't even born. I wasn't even thought of
like,
when Rodney King
riots. Like...
Yeah, so it's just, like... For it to happen, what is that?
I know. I was trying to think.
I can't do the math correctly in my head.
Ago, like,
but I think that was like 92, 93. So then like 2020 is like 20 plus years later, basically. So it's just kind of like seeing that I don't know, like I think it was very much like it was monumental because Atlanta was having shit. Like everyone was like riding like Atlanta, Miami, DC, like New York. And then like I hate that the momentum just stopped.
I do too.
Like it's like it was going really good for the summer, but then it just kind of like it stopped. It even died down before the summer was over. Like it kind of died down in like June, July-ish.
Yep, if we want to be serious about it, definitely people were not outside in September and October like they were that summer. So you could definitely say by the fall, that kind of
numbers were very much small. Like I remember seeing
2020.
I remember seeing so many people in the summer, and like, you know, a lot of like allies came out and were taking pictures at the protests and all that, and people are like, you know, it's a movement, not a moment. I'm like, but you were just here for the moment though. Like I haven't seen you at mutual aid, I haven't seen you do mutual aid, I haven't seen you do anything else like since then. And now everyone has their capacity, everyone has a role in the movement, because everybody cannot be a frontliner. Everyone cannot go to protests, because like that would be ableist for me to say everyone needs to be at a protest. Like some people literally like cannot come to protest. And everyone has like their role, but like, you know, there were definitely able-bodied people who literally like came out for like just that one time. Like people traveled to DC instead of, you know, doing stuff in their own city, which would have made even more noise if we had even like people in like smaller cities, but everyone wanted to, or like other cities. People would come from like, I don't even know where some people come from. Like some people would come from like New York, like to come to DC.
Yeah, to come down and protest. What do you feel like would have been a better idea for people to maybe spend their time doing that rather than like necessarily traveling to protest? Like what's another thing that people could have spent more time doing but they didn't?
So maybe not protesting, but maybe like raising awareness, actual awareness, instead of like the black square,
which had no knowledge.
So we are black men. We are black ladies.
We are black ladies post.
When somebody would like tag me in that, I would just be like, honestly, what is this doing?
It's not even raising awareness for anything necessarily, so being impactful. Like I guess in my opinion, some things that people could have done to be impactful are like, you know, just creating infographics. Like there's a lot of people that have the skills to do things like Canva and stuff like that.
There's a lot of people who did like more digital stuff, which is what we had when I was with Freedom Fighters. Like we had a social media team, and like not everyone, because we had one member, he lived with his family, so he wanted to give him COVID, so he literally like was just like, this is a digital member, like, but he contributed so much to the social media. To where it's like, everyone like has to finally like me. Like now I move more into like digital, because like although I like direct action, I like my health in my life. Like, and I will still do direct action, but I think I'm more so like my politics has evolved to where like I'm more so like I think people should focus on mutual aid and like improving the like material conditions of the communities, because like at the end of the day, protests make a lot of noise, but then it's also sometimes protests cause damage to a community.
Yes.
Because, like, you know, there's looting, and, like, that's, I don't care about people, like, stealing from corporations and everything, but it's, like, sometimes those people have to deal with the aftermath. And it's, like, and some people come from other cities and, like, you know, mess up other people's neighborhoods, and then it's, like, those residents are the ones left to pick up the pieces. That's versus, like, mutual aid is, like, that's really changing material conditions. That's educating. Mm-hmm. That's providing housing, clothing, food, all that, making sure people's needs are met. Because honestly, if you want to get more bodies for the movement, like no one can organize on an empty stomach. You cannot.
You said that.
And that's why like you would get more people to care if you met their needs. Like some people don't have time to care. They are focused on putting food on the table, feeding their family, surviving for the next day.
Yeah, but meeting people's needs are radical, and that's why politicians can't do it. But that's where all the money is going.
Politicians really cannot. It's community that's gonna always get us through. That's why, like, I do believe, like, you know, you know, exercise your voting power, do whatever you want with it, vote for who you want for, but I just don't put all my hope in the government and politicians because, like, especially as a black woman, I know they're not going to give that shit to me. I have to, like, create something on my own.
And that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. And it's also the way that I feel. The government, I've lost a lot of trust, and I am at the point where I am prepared to work with my friends and colleagues and peers to build the new world that I want to live in. And I don't have any hope for the government to save me.
Exactly, because they're not going to.
They don't even want to.
We can do, exactly, they don't want to. They have the resources, but they don't want to. So it's kind of like, I think, like, you know, black people were so focused on, like, reparations and everything. I personally don't care anymore. I don't think we're going to get them. We're never getting
them. From the federal level?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if anyone on the live stream actually heard about it, but Joe Biden actually announced that there will be no free community college at a federal level. And
that was one of their campaign promises.
Yep, that was one of their campaign promises. And yeah, so this is like the downhill of, I mean, given we already saw them break promises before. Let's not get, because they've broken,
I think they've broken like every promise, because, you know, we didn't even get the free COVID testing and we didn't really get free COVID testing because, like, they're just giving us like 4 tests one time. Like, it's not consistent. It's like 4 tests one time, and it's like they still don't have everything under control. They're not providing people relief, or they cut unemployment. Like, it's just so many things where it's just like, it just kind of seems like they want us to die. So we can't let that happen. So, like, we have to work within our communities to make sure that, like, you know, people stay alive.
Yes.
And the government's just not going to help us do that because they don't want to.
And working to coordinate mutual aid and also teaching people how to create mutual aid. So I think that would be something positive to end this off on, just definitely like a knowledgeable moment.
I would say create mutual aid, grow their own food.
Yes.
Like, growing your own food, I think in the coming years will be really important because, you know, we have supply chain shortages. You know, like, there's shortages also in, like, the industries of, what do they call the agricultural industry. Like, now, like, that's being affected too. So that's why now when you go to grocery stores, like, you see like a shortage of like produce.
Yeah, like salad. Just like no salad, this giant right here across the street from my house. But it's just something we're gonna have to get through.
Yeah.
So yeah, mutual aid. I think that something that I really want to highlight about mutual aid is that it's not charity. Like, there is a distinction between giving out, not even giving out, but just like helping people with the intentions of loving on the community and wanting to be impactful and see things get better, and charity, which most of the time is going towards like a nonprofit organization that does not necessarily impact communities that need it most. And it's so
especially them white savior nonprofits y'all be donating.
Yeah, and especially if no, we can just leave right there. Especially those white savior. It's just not impactful. And it's because the people most of the time want to get a tax write-off. And I don't want to say most of the time because that's generalizing, but it's like when you're doing mutual aid, you are not expecting to receive anything necessarily, but if you do, it's just a part of the cycle, and people do benefit from it. Things do come back around. Like, it's all being intentional, but it's kind of like it's like a concept that people don't even know about right now. So at this point, we just have to continue to educate people about it and just, you know, instill it in our own lives. So I guess some forms of mutual aid, just to give examples so it could really, the message could really hit home for everyone. Some mutual aid that Jamie and I participated in together was a winter coat giveaway last winter. And we were basically, right? You participated in that, right?
Yeah, I did.
You did too.
Where we had, you know, we had like clothing, and then we also had food to feed like that community that we went to.
Because that was their needs. It was the winter time, and
it's cold.
People that are unhoused really need coats. They don't need like there's a lot of things that they need, but something that they really need are coats, socks, gloves, and extra underwear if they don't have it, and food. So, collaborating with different organizations, like we could come together, or a business could come together, like Synergy and Serenity, and they could have ability to get coats, but not necessarily ability to get food or have hot food available. So making sure that you collaborate with other organizations, like there's an organization named Earl's First Amendment Grill.
Mm-hmm.
They provide great food, hot food that they make right in front of, like basically wherever they want to set up. And they have vegan options and vegetarian options as well. So collaboration, mutual aid, trying to put the needs of the community first, and then basically going from there. Yeah, it's okay. Basically going from there to figure out your next steps. It's key, and it's the future. So that is really what I wanted to get at in our conversation with each other. Just talk about like students that have spoken up on our campuses, and the DC movement space, the opportunity that we both have to be activists and just like women as a part of the movement and contributing to it. So is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I guess like other forms of mutual aid too, is like having like emergency funds, like organizations coming with emergency funds, like abortion funds, because especially in lower income communities, they don't have the money for abortions. So like I think it'd be really important to like,
and they're still getting done, and safely. Let's not think that the abortions are not happening
unsafely in someone's basement, and like they're literally damaging, like it damages like the inside, so where like those women are being rendered unable to have children anyways. So it's like you want them to have money so they can get a safe abortion. So and then it's also like, and they don't have money for abortion. Sometimes they're getting unsafe one, or like they just keep the child, but then it's like the child is now being born in material conditions where it's like not the best for them. So like also like funds to help single mothers, neighborhood like rental assistance funds. I would say like those main things, like healthcare funds.
So organizing to create funds for mutual aid, direct aid to people in the form of money.
So that it's always like readily available, because that will change material conditions, because like now you have money in this community to where like if an emergency happens, you have that. Like it's a circle. Like it's not like, so you're not rushing to crowdfund and like trying to like meet a deadline. You're being proactive.
That's a great point. And we can't get away from the fact that we need money to live and to survive.
Yeah.
People want to get away from that and try and always provide other resources and never money, and it's like that's not how most people live. Most people live and pay their bills, whatever bills they may have, with money. So please do not be afraid to give up the coin. And yeah, thank you for that mutual aid tip. Like that's a fact, and that's something that white people can do specifically. They can organize mutual aid pods and groups and collaborate with coworkers
to create
like funds to give up the coin.
The white allies are always, asking, what can we do to help black people?
So,
money.
You heard it here first.
Use that generational wealth and give it to us.
Like you said,
redistribute.
We don't know if reparations is going to come at the federal level. We really don't. Never has, even though Juneteenth is now recognized.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
Let's talk about it.
When you basically recognize a holiday, like a national holiday, then that holiday becomes commercialized and commodified. So now
literally now
we're gonna start seeing white establishments and like white big corporations like
celebrating
have
Juneteenth.
kente cloths and shit for Juneteenth. And it's like, first of all, kente cloth doesn't good. Never mind. It's like, it's Pan-African, but like Juneteenth is like also like an African-American thing, and there's literally like a Juneteenth flag. But like those definitely white establishments having Juneteenth happy hours, Juneteenth like things, Juneteenth, like little like knickknacks from like whatever big corporation. Next thing you know, Nike's gonna have a Juneteenth shoe, like how they do with Pride.
And so, what are we gonna have for ourselves?
Exactly.
I'm over here asking this question to you, like, yeah, the answers. I don't have the answers. No one has the answers. It's just, I really don't know what we're gonna have for us as Black people. But we'll always have ourselves, like we said, full circle moment.
And our
we'll
culture.
always have our Blackness, you know.
Always have our Blackness. Always have our
true
culture.
history. And that'll always tie us together. But these forces. Man, these forces against us, those are going to be here and they're going to be around for a while as well.
Them weapons be prospering.
Those weapons formed. Oh my God.
Them weapons formed and they be prospering.
Should not be laughing at this. But let me wrap this joint up. So, this was the Black Terps Matter experience. The second one, we focused on Black students speaking out. We had the wonderful, amazing, and beautiful Jenny Turner here with us. And we really use this time to, talk about some history, also what we wanted to see in the future, and just bring in some different perspectives. And so that's the Black Terps Matter experience. Tune in next week. We'll be talking about the history of Black student activism, at a United States level, at a Maryland level, and then at the University of Maryland level. So we'll be digging into the history. I really hope that y'all can tune in. And thank you. Tune in next week. Bye.